VR Workforce Studio. Podcasting the sparks that ignite vocational rehabilitation through the inspiring stories of people with disabilities who have gone to work.
Working in a field that I understand.
As well as the professionals who have helped them.
A job and a career. You got to look at how life-changing this is.
And the businesses who have filled their talent pipelines with workers that happen to have disabilities.
To help expand registered apprenticeship.
These are their stories.
Because there's such a great story to tell about people with disabilities.
Now, here are the hosts of the VR Workforce Studio, Rick Sizemore and Betsy Civilette.
Welcome to episode 135.
And today's episode takes us inside an important DARS initiative that's bringing communities together in a whole new way, Community Academies.
Yeah, these academies are opening doors, building partnerships, and changing the way we help Virginians with disabilities across the full range of services they need to succeed. And today, we'll walk through how this all evolved from early innovative grants to targeted outreach to a remarkable event held recently in Portsmouth.
And to help us connect all the dots, we're joined here by someone who's been at the heart of this statewide effort.
Yeah, that's David Leon, Workforce Development for the Virginia Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services. David, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you both very much. It's great to be here.
Well, David, before we jump into the community academies themselves, let's start with the big picture. So DARS has long provided vocational rehabilitation services. We know that. But over the past several years, DARS has become known for more innovative outreach. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We've been fortunate to have the support of agency leadership to try many new things, all with the goal of increasing outcomes for individuals with disabilities going to work. That includes our work across multiple grants and trying to increase co-enrollment activities so that we are better leveraging the workforce partners in order to make sure that the changing needs of the individuals we serve are being met to maximize outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one of the major catalysts for that outreach was the Disability Innovation Fund grant, often called the DIF grants.
And even before DIF grants, DARS was reaching out through programs like the Targeted Communities. Many listeners may remember our earlier podcast episode, Crossroads of Disability and Poverty, the story of a truck driver who navigated crushing hardship and found hope through VR services.
Yeah, that's a guy named Shane Paget. That's one of my favorite episodes. You can find it in the library at vrworkforcestudio.com. Just search that title, Crossroads of Disability and Poverty. You know, all of these efforts have shown us just how many individuals can fall through the cracks. And David, that led to a new realization that the service providers themselves for housing, mental health, corrections, workforce, VR, they needed a better way to work together. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, part of what happens, Rick, is that we all come into our roles at a certain point in time, and we learn what resources are available in that time. When those resources change, the opportunities change, job markets change, but also as we try to focus on populations we did not serve traditionally, those populations we would call unserved or underserved, the needs of those groups are different. And therefore, we have to be more creative about how to address those needs, which often involves utilizing more community resources. And the Community Academies is the opportunity to make sure that staff and providers understand what each of us can offer towards that common goal of helping an individual go to work and achieve self-sufficiency.
Right. We have a clip from Brian Ingram who talks about what is the makeup of a community academy. Brian Ingram from National Disability Institute was a partner in this community academy.
Sure. A community academy is an event where you bring together providers who are kind of focused on the same populations. So in this case, I believe we were focused on mental health, vocational, and housing. So a lot of times people need all three of those things. So it seemed a natural combination. And there's a lot of other providers that serve that client base either exclusively or quite often. And so that's kind of what we thought. We should invite those service providers into the same room and have a conversation about how we might be able to coordinate services at a client level more effectively.
I have a case open recently with the Department of Rehabilitation Services, DARS, and they invite me to speak for them. I think that is a big opportunity for, not just for me, for other parents that they have kids with special needs, like me. I have my son too. He got his case too open.
Then we had a consumers, so folks who actually received the services, a panel who came and spoke about the experience of receiving services from multiple agencies at the same time.
Thank you very much. My name is Maxwell Ortiz Fuentes. I'm 26 years old, so with autism, functional, with anxiety, depression, and mood swings.
The concept that brings all of you here, this is an IEP, one of 3, just from my son, 3 inches binder, running everywhere, just to get information for the same companies.
That it should be more community-based information given out, as well as how they do promotions, and if they can push out Nike and different things that way, they could put out DARS. They could put a sports car with a DARS logo on it or something like that.
Well, their story reminds us that people aren't navigating one system. And as David said a minute ago, things are sort of always in a state of change, and change seems to be escalating and getting even faster. And so people are navigating lots of systems and lots of dynamics. And when the providers communicate and collaborate, the whole journey becomes easier and more effective.
Yes, absolutely. It also leads to ongoing communication and collaboration, which ideally increases everyone's knowledge of changes in each individual system.
Well, let's take the listeners inside the Portsmouth event. David, can you walk us through how the Community Academy was structured?
Sure. Groups were invited from across the service delivery system. Everyone was able to learn a little bit about what each provider and organization could do, what their mission was, how they can help. Everyone got to hear from those participants themselves to learn a little bit more of what it's really like to try to navigate these multiple systems. And then we moved into small group case study activities where folks worked through realistic scenarios involving clients with complex needs and discussed how their agencies could coordinate care and get to the outcomes we're all hoping that the individuals we work with achieve.
Well, it was remarkable watching those groups work together through real-world challenges: transportation, housing, mental health, job readiness, benefits planning, and a whole lot more. Don't you think so, David?
Yeah, the conversations were extremely productive. Providers left with new contacts, better awareness of how each other's services and ideas on how to work together more effectively, but also with a sense of hope that we can do this work together and get to better outcomes.
Mm-hmm. That's why we wanted to put together this Community Academy, because this is the jump start for us to expand our relationships with our community partners.
Betsy, you remember Letitia Parker from that day.
She's put it all together.
Oh, my goodness. And she's the unit manager at the Portsmouth DARS office. Again, as Betsy said, helped bring all this together. She provided a great overview of what was accomplished that day. Let's give it a listen.
Yes, we were talking about different ways that we can come up with innovative strategies to make the process a little bit easier with connecting the agencies. We came up with when a client comes in for an intake, that they can meet with a resource person to find out all of the resources that are in the community of that zip code. We talked about information kiosks for all services, apps on the phone, or a QR code. That way the consumer can scan the QR code or pull up the app or look on the kiosk, and that can give them a mixture of different agencies that's in the community. We also talked about agencies to come into the high schools to do like a presentation or to prepare the parents and the students for what it's gonna look like when they graduate, or what services that they're able to get while they're still in high school. We also discussed how to expand participation in the reentry council. So every month there is a reentry council meeting at social services that people can be added to the list, and they can partner with different community agencies in their area. And we also talked about maybe coming up with some new resource guides. So when consumers come in and they open up a case, or if they're doing an intake, they can look at the resource guides and find out what agencies are out there for whatever service that they need. Then once a month, we can highlight a partner or send it out to everyone. That way we can be aroused on what the updates are and just be in the light of what's new happening, what policies are changing, and to stay updated with the agencies. Then lastly, we talked about financial literacy in the DARS offices, and we could partner with Virginia Credit Union where they can help give information about the ABLE accounts to any type of financial literacy that our consumers may need. Thank you.
The academies are just the beginning.
They certainly are. Well, David, thank you for helping us better understand this important initiative. Up next, though, we have an in-depth discussion with Letitia and Mar, and we take a deeper dive into what's on the front lines of VR and helping people move from sometimes really tragic and challenging circumstances into real-world jobs that help transform their lives.
Right. Including this Community Academies. So, David, it's always a pleasure to have you join us and enlighten us on what's going on in your world.
Thank you very much.